I'd like to read you a little story. It's called Twas the Night Before Skyfall. 'Twas the night before Skyfall, when all through the estate Bond set up a gauntlet using M as his bait. Explosives were hung on the old chandeliers in hopes that Raoul Silva soon would be there. The agents were helped by a man named Kincaid, who turned light sockets into shrapnel grenades. And M, in her kerchief and Bond out in the car, had just settled their brains for an all-out war. When out on the moor there came without sound the henchmen of Silva coming over the grounds. Away from the window M ran, did she run. She hid in the kitchen with a sawed-off shotgun. The sun setting on the cheat of the old Scottish moor made you wonder why they didn't wait until night-time, I'm sure. But they came anyway, they came in the light. They knocked on the front door, ready to fight. What they didn't expect on that welcome mat tartan was to be shot from behind by the old Aston Martin. Some of them fell and some of them ducked. The ones who survived thought, maybe we're fucked. So they burst through the door and they stalked through the halls, still hunting for M, who just hid behind walls. One of them found her, and towards her he strode. But before he could get there, she made the sky explode. But the moment she'd waited had taken its toll. Alive, but badly wounded, she escaped through the priest's hole. When what to Bond's wondering eyes should occur but a big helicopter with Silva as its chauffeur. Great missiles were fired at the castle with ire, in hopes that M would flee from the fire. But Bond did him one better, a trick he learned in class. He blew up his own house using natural gas. Then he did what you do when you're 007. He called all the men who'd portrayed the spy legend. On Roger, on Sean, on Timmy and Pierce, on Lazenby too, I'm in trouble fierce. Send me all your strength and your wits on the double. I need your help now. M is in trouble. And then he was there, back up on the heath. A bit low on bullets, but he still had his sheath. And he ran over ice to the lake's other side, where he met up with Silva, not bothering to hide. They looked at each other, each taking note of the other before him, whom he wanted to smote. Silva wore black from his foot to his head, which was horribly bleached, and it looked like a dead possum was stapled, then combed thick with gel. Honestly, it's worse than a hairdo from hell. His skin was so fair, his hair was so blonde, he looked like a Dadaist's version of Bond. And when a long moment had passed on the heath, Silva did the unthinkable and took out his teeth. His mouth was a horror, his cheekbones collapsed, his gums looked like little black barbecue scraps. Bond stood there and stared, not able to budge. Such a shock he had had. But he sadly misjudged, for a henchman appeared next to him on the ice. Now, Bond, Silva said, let's all play nice. You expect me to talk? Bond said with a sigh. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. Then Silva took off in a run towards the chapel, while Bond and the henchmen were left there to grapple. They fought on the ice and they fought in the water. Bond sent him someplace like heaven, but hotter. Bond raced to the chapel to catch up with fate, hoping for M's sake he wasn't too late. But Silva was there with his face writhed in pain, begging M to shoot them both through the brain. Silva wanted her dead one way or another. Why did he keep calling her mother? Surely she wasn't, that doesn't make sense. Javier Bardem, the son of Judi Dench? Then suddenly Silva crumpled up like a sack. Bond had just thrown a knife through his back. He crawled and he gasped, his breath racked with sighs. Bond had just introduced him to his demise. But the shrapnel that M had caught in her hip was starting to make her own dear life slip. She fell to her knees and Bond knew it was rum, so he ran to her side and he said, "Gotcha, Mum." She was shaking in grey, shivering like an elf. Bond wept as he held her in spite of himself. He closed her dead eyes and then wrapped her in plaid, cradling the mother he never quite had. 'Twas a week after Skyfall, back at MI6. Q was at work making gadgets with tricks. and Bond was just glad that he wasn't yet dead, while visions of Severine danced in his head. Half French, half Chinese, all ass. The new M was waiting to send him abroad, new M's new assistant, so cute you'd applaud. So he smiled at the girl as he'd done to so many. Nice to meet you, James Bond, she said. I'm Moneypenny. He's ready to see you, I'll show you right in. M was inside, nursing a gin, and I heard him exclaim, as if quoting the PM, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a new M. Is that's the story, that's the end? So he gets a dead mother figure for Christmas? That's terrible. Who's the new M? Ray Fiennes. He's good. No, he's good. He's good. Merry 00 Christmas. Cheers.